Hey everybody, NCWQ here. We are going to go over a new island today, Dauphin Island, Alabama, formerly known as Massacre Island. It is an island town in Mobile County, Alabama, United States, on a barrier island of the same name in the Gulf of Mexico. It incorporated in 1988. The population was 1,778 at the 2020 census, up from 1,238 at the 2010 census. The town is part of the Mobile metropolitan area. The island, originally named Massacre Island, was renamed for Louis XIV of France, great-grandson and heir of the Dauphin, the future Louis XV of France. The name of the island is often mistaken as Dauphin Island. The word Dauphin is French for dolphin, but historically the term was used as a title of the heir apparent to the French monarch. The island is one of the Mississippi-Alabama barrier islands, with the Gulf of Mexico to the east, and this is the Gulf of Mexico, to the south. So south is down here, so this is the Gulf of Mexico here, and the Mississippi Sound and Mobile Bay to the north, which is here. This is the Mississippi Sound here. The island's eastern end helps define the mouth of Mobile Bay. The eastern, wider portion of the island is shaded by thick strands of pine trees and saw palmetto, but the narrow western part of the island features scrub growth and few trees. Dauphin Island is home to Fort Gaines, Dauphin Island Sea Lab, the Estuarium Public Aquarium, the Dauphin Island Airport, boat ramps, a large public pier that sits on dry land, historic sites, several restaurants, new condominium developments, and numerous private homes. Beaches attract tourism, and fishing is a popular activity in the waters around the island. The island is connected to the mainland by Gordon-Persons Bridge. So this is the Gordon, I believe this is the Gordon-Persons Bridge here, Alabama's coastal connection. So I'm believing that that's the bridge right here. So you have the mainland over here. So this would be the bridge right here. Although the island has several bird sanctuaries, the main one is 164 acres or 68 hectares. Audubon Bird Sanctuary. Because Dauphin Island is the first land encountered by many birds as they migrate north from South America, many species can be found resting there before continuing their journey. In May of 2012, the Central Public Beach began charging for access. This marked the second beach on the island to charge the public following the creation of the privately owned East End Beach. So this is West End Beach right here. So I believe East End Beach is over here. This is the East End Beach right here. And this is the East End Public Beach. Serpentine shell middens, perhaps 1,000 years old, attest to at least seasonal occupation by the Native American Mississippian mound builder culture. Shell Mound Park, along the island's northern shore, is administered by the Alabama Marine Resource Division. So let's see if we can find that park. So this is north. So it would be on this side. This is Indian Shell Mound Park right here. In 1519, the Spanish explorer Alonso Alvarez de Pineda was the first documented European to visit, staying long enough to map the island with remarkable accuracy. The island's French history began on January 31st, 1699, when the explorer Pierre Le Moyne Sieur d'Iberville, one of the founders of French Louisiana, arrived at Mobile Bay and anchored near the island on his way to explore the mouth of the Mississippi River. D'Iberville mistakenly named it Le Deux Massacre, or Massacre Island, because of a large pile of human skeletons discovered there. In reality, the site was a Mississippian burial mound which had been broken open by a hurricane, not a massacre site. However, dramatic misnomer stuck. D'Iberville later established a port for Fort Louis de la Louisiane on the island due to its abundant timber, reliable supply of fresh water, and deep water harbor. The settlement consists of a fort, a chapel, government-owned warehouses, and residences. So let's see if we can find the fort. There's Fort Gaines right here. So this is Fort Gaines. So this may be it here. The island served as a major trading depot where goods from Saint Domingue, Haiti, Mexico, Cuba, and France were unloaded, and short-lived fur trade was connected. Before a channel was dredged, Mobile Bay was too shallow and its sandbars too treacherous for ocean-going vessels to travel up the bay and Mobile River to Fort Louis de la Louisiane. Thus, smaller boats carried the cargo within Mobile Bay to and from Dauphin Island. In 1719, the first American slaves of Alabama arrived at Dauphin Island after the French and Indian War, known in Europe as the 7 Years' War, ended in 1763. The island was ceded to the British. After the American Revolutionary War, the territory again came under Spanish jurisdiction, being part of the province of West Florida until 1812. In 1795, the Treaty of San Lorenzo was signed between Spain and the United States. New settlers began migrating to Alabama from Virginia, North and South Carolina, and Georgia. In 1805, the Chickasaw, Cherokee, and Choctaw people were forced to cede their lands to the government. The Creek tribes aggressively fought to hold their lands, but eventually were forced to cede in 1813. Fort Gaines, which is here, on the eastern tip of the island, was built between 1821 and 1848. It was occupied by Confederate forces in 1861 and captured by the Union Army during the Battle of the Mobile Bay. The phrase, "damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead," was supposedly spoken by U.S. Admiral David Farragut just a few hundred yards from the Dauphin Island shore. The first Sand Island light, authorized in 1834, was replaced by a structure 100 feet high at a cost of $35,000 that was destroyed by the Confederate forces. The present lighthouse, in use until 1970, has been placed on the National Register of Historic Places. Its ownership was recently transferred from the U.S. Department of Interior to the town of Dauphin Island. And let me show you what the lighthouse looks like. I believe this was... No, I don't have a picture of it. Let's see if we can find the lighthouse. Usually lighthouses are close to the water areas. That's the fort there. I don't see the lighthouse. That's Fort Morgan over here. So I don't see the lighthouse. I'm looking for it, but I don't see it. I know we have an Audubon bird sanctuary here. Let's see. Go into 3D here. There's the boat ramp. There's Dauphin Island Sea Lab right there. Dauphin Island Sea Lab is here. So this is the Dauphin Island Sea Lab. United States Coast Guard Station is here. But I don't see a lighthouse. Let me see here if I can give you a picture of Sand Island. This was the Sand Island Lighthouse. So here's a picture of it. This is what I was looking for. So that's the Sand Island Lighthouse. There it is. Never mind. I did find it. It's all the way out here on this rock right here. Can barely see it. I was thinking, why is it on a little island? There it is. Okay, so the Sand Island Lighthouse, authorized in 1834, was the replacement, and it was replaced by a 150-foot high structure that cost $35,000. In 2023, a large alligator was spotted riding waves and sunbathing on the beach of Dauphin Island. Onlookers posted photos of the alligator to social media, which subsequently went viral. While alligators traditionally live in freshwater, they are able to tolerate saltwater as well, according to the Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. Dauphin Island is 15 miles long from east to west, separating the Gulf of Mexico to the south from the Mississippi Sound and Mobile Bay to the north. The island is less than 0.25 miles wide for most of its length, except for the eastern quarter of the island, which is over 1 mile wide. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the island has a land area of 6.3 square miles, while the town's total area is much greater, 166 square miles, with 159.9 square miles, or 96.2% of the town, in the water of the surrounding Gulf and bays. The Dauphin Island Bridge, officially the Gordon Parsons Bridge, is the island's sole road connection to the Alabama mainland, carrying State Route 193, which leads north 27 miles to Tillman's Corner and the southwest outskirts of Mobile. Downtown Mobile is 37 miles north of the island. The climate of this area is characterized by hot, humid summers and generally mild to cool winters. According to the Köppen climate classification system, Dauphin Island has a humid subtropical climate. As of the census of 2000, there were 1,371 people, but falling in the 2010 census to 1238, with 601 households and 418 families residing in the town. The population density was 221.2 people per square mile. There were 1,691 housing units at the average density of 272.9 units per square mile. The racial makeup of the town was 96.43% white, 44.44% black or African American, 1.60% Native American, 0.58% Asian, and 0.95% from 2 or more races, and that was 13 people. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 0.95% of the population. There were 601 households, out of which 21.6 had children under the age of 18 living with them. 61.7% were married couples living together. 5% had female household and no husband present, and 30.3% were non-families. 23% of all households were made up of individuals, and 6.3% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.28, and the average family size was 2.66. In the town, the population was spread out, with 17.4% under the age of 18, 7.4% from 18 to 24, and 25.7% from 25 to 44, 33.3% from 45 to 64, and 16.2% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 45. For every 100 females, there were 111.6 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 114 males. So somebody was getting left out if they were making couples. The median income for a household in the town was $44,219, and the median income for a family was $50,476. Males had a median income of $35,179 versus $24,250 for females. The per capita income for the town was $22,552. About 6% of families and 9.2% of the population were below the poverty line, including 6.7% of those under age 18 and 5.4% of those age 65 and older. The town is served by Mobile County Public School System. It has one public school, Dauphin Island Elementary School. Middle school students go to the Alba Middle School in Bayou La Batterie and Alma Bryant High School in Bayou La Batterie. The Dauphin Island Sea Lab is located on the east end of the island, on grounds formerly occupied by the 693rd Radar Squadron, Dauphin Island Air Force Station, U.S. Air Force, and is home to the Marine Environmental Sciences Consortium. At the top of Dauphin Island's coat of arms is a historic Fort Gaines with two cannons facing north and south, and it looks like this. Which represents Dauphin Island's role during the Civil War. The boat is a shrimping vessel, which represents the livelihood of many residents of the island. The dolphin is a mammal seen quite often in the Gulf of Mexico and Mobile Bay waters surrounding the island. The birds are pelicans, which are numerous around the island and the entire Gulf Coast. The fleur de lis represents the presence of France on the island from 1699 to 1764. The sailing ship is a Spanish galleon to represent Spain's role in settling the area between 1781 and 1813. Over the centuries, many hurricanes have struck the island. Some recent storms include in 1969, Hurricane Camille flooded 70% of the island and was the worst storm to strike the area until Hurricane Frederick. In 1979, Hurricane Frederick on September 12th destroyed the bridge to the mainland, which had been open in 1955. In 1985, Hurricane Elena brought wind gusts of over 130 miles per hour to the island. In 1997, Hurricane Danny caused extensive flooding to the east end of the island. In 1998, Hurricane Georges destroyed 41 homes on the island. In 2004, Hurricane Ivan caused nearly 1/4 of the island to be covered with approximately 2 feet of water. On August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina brought damage to parts of Dauphin Island. Some homes on the west end of the island were destroyed, and the Katrina Cut was formed as the canal splitting off the western part. However, most areas of the central and east end of the island experienced little flooding from the storm surge. The approach road to the island fared better than expected. The damage to most east end beachfront homes was limited to decks, stairs, and storage buildings. In DeSoto Landing a gated Gulfront subdivision on Dauphin Island. The main homes had no water entering the homes unless a window or roof system failed. Many avoided surge waters entirely. Damage was limited due to Sand Island, and that's Pelican Island. Sand Island is Pelican Island. A large sandbar south of DeSoto Landing, which broke the force of the battering waves. An oil drilling platform grounded near the island of the hurricane passed by. It was identified by its owners, Diamond Offshore Drilling Incorporated, as the Ocean Warwick, pushed nearly 60 miles from its original location by the hurricane. On September 14, 2020, storm surge from the offshore Hurricane Sally flooded the island. And there are tourist attractions. The Old Wall Fort Gaines is on the east end of the Dauphin Island. A ferry from nearby Fort Morgan and Gulf Shores brings both vehicles and pedestrians to the island. One of the closest attractions to the ferry dock is the Astarium, a fresh and saltwater aquarium highlighting species native to Alabama. The Dauphin Island Heritage and Arts Council features works by local artists as well as information on the history of Dauphin Island. It organizes the annual Dauphin Island Native American Festival. Anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video of Dauphin Island. Please remember to give me a like and subscribe. And we will be back with more videos. Thank you. And I will see you on the next one.